Good afternoon, everybody. It's me, Mitch. How you doing? Good to be here. And let's fade the music out and take a look at you. Wow, look at you all out there. Good to see you. Good to see you. And I'm assuming you can all see me. Appears that everything's working great. Saturday afternoon, 3 o'clock, 60 people already. Wow, wow, wow. Either tune in to watch me crash and burn or you like me. Either one's okay with me, I suppose. I have a new toy in the studio today. No, not that kind of toy, guys. A new toy. I want to show it to you. I don't know if it's going to make any difference, make this any more professional, or even any more interesting. But right over here, where I'm pointing, this thing, it's a little, you see a little light on it. It is my DJI Osmo Pocket 3 camera. It's the camera that I use when I record those videos sitting out on my back porch, sometimes when I go for a walk. It's an incredible camera, and it doubles as a webcam. So I said, wouldn't it be neat to hook it up to the system and see if I could give you all just a different view of me? That way you'd be able to see my whole t-shirt where it says, I may be wrong, but I doubt it. So this is me talking into that camera on my desk over there. It gives you a little different perspective of the studio. And I can do these newscast things where I point at you there and then swivel right back around to the front to a different view of me while I'm still talking. And we've all seen that done on newscasts. We see they'll turn to face a different camera and then the angle will change. Well, I can do that now too. I can turn to face the camera and change the angle so I'm talking to you, and then I can turn back to the front and be talking to you there. I don't know how often I'm going to use that or whether it's a little gimmicky or not, but you know, I like gadgets, and I now have three cameras in my studio, which I can switch to by pushing buttons on this little box that I have right here and switch the camera views. And I happen to think that is very, very cool. So welcome, everybody. Welcome. Drink it if you got it. We have gorgeous weather here in Florida today. I think the high's in the upper 80s, maybe 90. Dry as hell. That hurricane going out over Bermuda is just sucking all the moisture. It's dry. It's just gorgeous outside. Maybe I should have done this live stream from outside instead of in here, but then I wouldn't have all these fun buttons to push. So I see everybody's in here. You guys are chatting away already. Always good to see that. Look at all of the entries in the chat. And there were a few things I wanted to talk to you about today. First, my disclaimer. And you all, at least I hope most of you have seen the little video I put out yesterday. The little channel announcement. And I just wanted to get that out. I wanted to get it on the record. I wanted that nobody out there in YouTube land make any mistake of what the purpose of my channel is or who I'm purporting to be, what kind of authority I'm purporting to be. And I want to make it clear always that what I talk about are my experiences, things that I've experimented on myself, the results that I've gotten, and I share that with you. In no way does this constitute any medical advice, or am I ever telling any of you not to follow your doctor's orders? That's up to you. That's your decision, not my place. Not my place to tell you. I want that perfectly clear. And one of the reasons that I keep making that perfectly clear is some of the trouble that some YouTubers are having with their so-called community guidelines. And we have to be, I think, as a community of carnivores and ketos and even doctors, my opinion again, I think we have to be very, very wary of how we approach this so as not to be construed in any manner of doing anything that, according to their community guidelines, which happen to include all of the opinions from the World Health Organization, not going to take much for them to use that as an excuse to give us strikes and eventually ban us from the platform under the logic of the fact that we're giving dangerous information. Human animals have been eating meat since the beginning of time, and we're still here. And yet they actually have ways in which they can claim that that advice is dangerous and counter to what the authorities and the experts think we should be eating. So bear with me if I seem a little overly disclaimering, if that's even a word, just so there's no misunderstanding. It kind of puts me out of the realm of answering any personal questions like some of the doctors do, talking about your individual test results and your individual problems. I still want to answer questions about carnivore, but those answers are always going to be framed in my own experience and what I've done and the results that it has had on me, with an implied caveat: take it for what it's worth. Take it for what it's worth. Does that mean I don't think I'm right? No, of course not. I know I'm right. But it doesn't matter anymore in this world. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. So that's that out of the way. Got a couple little notes here. I came up with I don't know, it just hit me the other day. A little kind of slogan that I said, wow, this is just like way too obvious. How could we not be using this? And that particular phrase that I came out with is the APPROPRIATE, appropriate human diet. Sounds cool. The appropriate human diet. We already have the perfect human diet. They made a movie about that. We have the proper human diet, which is Ken Berry's thing, and he's been using that. I don't know if he's trademarked it or not, but the PhD thing. I kind of coined the evolutionary human diet a little while back, but I stopped using that because of the absolute heat I got from religious people. And I don't want to change anybody's religion, so I kind of backed off of that. It's up to everybody whether they believe in the concept of evolution or creation, and it's not my place to change your mind. All I can tell you, however, is that all of my research and the conclusions that I've come to all make the most sense when you view hundreds of millions of years of evolutionary changes to living things. I think, and I've seen the science, and it backs it up, but you're going to believe what you want to believe, so I don't want to lose you as a friend because of that. So then it hit me, appropriate human diet. I said, that about says it all. So let's see what Dr. Google has to say about the appropriate human diet. It says here, a healthy diet for humans is generally considered to include a variety of whole foods with an emphasis on fruits, vegetables, and fiber. Fruits and vegetables, at least 5 portions per day. Base meals on starchy foods like potatoes, bread, rice, or pasta. Now they're high in fiber. Other foods include legumes, nuts, whole grains, dairy or dairy alternative, beans, pulses. Finally, they're going to let us even consider some fish, eggs, meat, and healthy oils. And what do they mean by healthy oils? Well, of course, they mean seed oils. Because nobody in their right mind would ever recommend that a human in search of an appropriate human diet would ever eat animal fat. God forbid, saturated fat. Then it says sugar and fat. Limit free sugars to less than 10% of total energy intake. Well, right there you have a dichotomy. Right there you have a contradiction. Because they have just told you in the first 3 paragraphs that 100% of your diet should be made of carbohydrate. What the hell do they think the fruits and vegetables are? What do they think the starchy foods, potatoes, bread, rice, pasta? What do they think they are? What do they think the legumes, nuts, whole grains are? They're pure sugar, pure carbohydrate. And then in the next paragraph, they tell you limit free sugars to less than 10%. So what they're telling me here, I'm already eating 90% of my diet from sugar. Don't add more sugar to it. You know, you reach a point where how the hell could you add any more sugar to what is nearing a 100% sugar diet? And if they're trying to tell me that sugar isn't what carbohydrates are, they're crazy. So this added sugar, free sugar, is bogus. It's meaningless. And then it says limit processed foods. Well, everything they said at the top, every pasta, bread, rice, everything that they talked about is a processed food. So that doesn't make sense. But they go on to tell us that there are some diets that are supported by science. And that includes the Mediterranean diet, a plant-based diet. And we should consult our doctor or dietitian for advice on making more specific dietary changes to improve your health. Now, what did I search for? I searched for the appropriate human diet. And in Google, in their AI overview, this is the answer I got. Now, we have diets, human appropriate, healthy diet. Dare I look? And then we come up with a video from Dr. Kiltz, Dr. Burry's proper human diet. And then we have people also ask, what is the ideal diet for humans? What's the best diet for a normal person? What do you eat on the human diet? What diet are humans designed to eat? And every one of those answers, including ingredients, food list, and all the other stuff that I could find on Google, is this. No mention of a ribeye, bacon, even eggs. No mention. But one thing I noticed is that as I scroll down this list, I don't see the phrase appropriate human diet. That's what I searched for. You'd think there'd be some occurrence of those 3 words somewhere on the internet that Google might have picked up in a search result, on a page, on a website, in a YouTube video somewhere. No mention. The true human diet, balanced diet, optimal diet, 5 diets that are supported by science. Maybe page 2. What is the ideal healthy diet for humans? Why is there no definitive healthy human diet? Scientists say they have zeroed in on whatever. RHR, the optimal human diet. So it seems to me that it would be relatively safe for me to hereby claim using a copyright law of what they call first publication. And if you're the first to basically publish something or publicize something, you have the right to assume and claim a copyright on it based on the law of first publication. And since I can find no mention of the phrase appropriate human diet anywhere, it's mine. It's mine. It's mine, folks. I claim it as mine, my intellectual property, my right to issue or request a copyright strike. No, I wouldn't do that. I don't do that kind of stuff. And I'm kind of saying this tongue in cheek, but it amazed me that some term as obvious as an appropriate human diet is not a concept that we humans have embraced very widely or even used in our community and our videos. And that, to me, is downright absurd. So that's going to be my thing. I'm going to stop using Ken Berry's thing. I'm going to stop talking about the proper human diet. I'm going to stop talking about the optimal human diet. I'm going to start talking from here on out for the rest of my YouTube and carnivore career. I'm going to refer to this way of life, this way of eating, as the appropriate human diet. Thank you very much. Thank you. I think that demands little acknowledgement. So, enough of that. But I thought that was amazing that I couldn't find that anywhere. I couldn't find that anywhere. Let me say hi to some people, and then we'll get on. I got a few things on my list to talk about today, as well as answer your questions. I see Ellen is here. Hi, Ellen. Ellen and has said, Mitch decided he didn't need a moderator because he could search for QQQ in the questions. Yeah, so just 3 capital Qs, and I'll be able to find them. AHD sounds good. Yeah. As long as we don't put that second D in there and turn it into ADHD, AHD sounds great. Odd. It's the odd diet. No, that sounds too much like ODD. Odd. Appropriate human diet. I hope you all like that. And if you know of somebody that's using that as a trademark or something, let me know. Send me an email. But I wasn't able to find it. At least Google wasn't able to present it to me in the first 5 or 6 pages of search result for those 3 words in sequence. And I doubt there are any other words in the English language Google couldn't find somewhere on the internet, buried in a sentence, deep in a website or document somewhere that it's indexed. Blew my mind. I expected to find hundreds of uses, hundreds of occurrences of that. I said, there's no new ideas. How could anybody on this planet think of something that nobody ever thought of before? And yet, here I am. My job. Think up new stuff, new ways of looking at things. And it's been a downfall of mine all my life. I'll never go along with the way everybody else does anything. I have to figure out a way that I'm going to do it that's not only different than everybody else does it, but better. And I got to tell you, I've gotten my ass in a lot of trouble with that attitude, but I can't stop it. It's just me. It's who I am. Let's see who we got here. We have United Carnivore was here early. How you doing? Good to see you. And Boyd Lamb. And Boyd Lamb tells me that there is now a website. There is a website for Ken Berry's new American Diabetes Society, and look at this. And it is American Diabetes Society.org. And it's live. And they've done a nice job. And I want to thank Boyd for pointing that out to me. I hadn't seen it yet. It must have just gone live. He also tells me that they have social media platforms going live as well. And that's great. That's great. I'll never participate in any social media platform, not Facebook, not Twitter. I have a Twitter account. I every once in a while post something out there, but I don't ever have conversations on social media with anybody. It's too much like the comments on the videos. It's too aggravating. You have to constantly be involved in conflict. I know Ken Berry enjoys being a hard ass on Twitter. I don't enjoy that. I'm too old for that. I don't want conflict anywhere. I want to say my piece, talk about my ideas, read what you have to say, but not respond or argue with you. I made a video about that. It has made my life over this past 3 or 4 days 1,000% more pleasant and more relaxing for me to extract myself from that conversation. I have glanced at the comments, and as usual, they were 98% plus complimentary. And for all of those of you who take the time to write me something, I will probably read most of them, but I am not interacting at all for the reasons I talked about in my video about liability and giving anybody anywhere any reason to say that I'm giving medical advice to anybody, even by liking or loving a comment where they intimate that they agree with what I said. So I can't do that. I'm just not going to take the chance. One of the things, well, let's take a quick look at this and then I'll go on. Introducing the American Diabetes Society, what sets ADS apart: independence from big industry, unwavering transparency, practical support, research for the future, education and advocacy, public policy influence. So far, this website is brand new, basically very generic, with broad sweeping terms. I'm sure it's going to grow by leaps and bounds. Right now, they have an about section, which is this. They have a donate section, which is this, and they want donations. I don't blame them. It's going to be expensive to get this thing off the ground. And they have frequently asked questions. Is it a nonprofit? How's it different from the American Diabetes Association? How does the society ensure its transparency? And there's 5 different questions there. The last 2 are about donations. So that's what their website is starting out. I wish these guys a lot of luck. I hope that, and this is just my wish for them, I hope that the response to this, in the onslaught of accusations, propaganda, and other crap that's going to be raining down on their heads from the established medical community, from the American Diabetes Association, from the American Heart Association, from the Dietitians Association, from everybody and their brother, who is basically threatened by this organization coming out and saying, everything that you're hearing from everybody else is wrong, and here's why, and here's what you need to do. It's going to be interesting to see how much attention they draw. And the more attention that they draw means the more scared they are and the more they have to lose. Because right now they're getting almost all of their funding from big pharma, big food, and the medical establishment and the Seventh-day Adventists and everybody else involved in profiting from this boondoggle that we call healthcare these days. So I wish those guys luck. Good luck to you on your association, and I will be keeping an eye on it. So thank you, Boyd, for pointing that out. We have Turamir's here. How you doing? Good to see you. Nick Sheeson is here. These are all people that came in very early. Linda G, how you doing, Linda? Munching on some bacon. Always the right thing to do. Always the right thing to do, Linda. CB Carmack is here. Hi, Sheriff. How you doing? CB is our buddy. We usually talk to CB on Thursday night in the private community. He's a sheriff down there in Alabama. Great guy. Good to see you, CB. And we have, who else came in early? Boyd, Linda, Boyd. Rod Burnett was here. How you doing, Rod? And Peter, Papa Carnivore is here. Hey, Peter. How you doing? Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Laser Unfocused is here. From Southampton, England. Good to see some of the Europeans coming in here on Saturday. It's not past your bedtime, at least. Jerry Vajtush from Ponte Vedra Beach, Florida. Good to see you, my friend. It's gorgeous here in Florida today, that's for sure. And Marilda Tuamola, how you doing from sunny Southern California? Steve Studley's here. Good to see you, Steve. Oscar Rodriguez, good to see you. Lori Rabideau, how you doing? Good to see you from Wisconsin. We got them from all over the place. And here we have time traveler Karen, Connecticut here. That's an interesting name. Are you Karen from the future? Carb Free for Life is here. How you doing? Oh man, you're the narrowboat guy. Good. How you doing? I hope you're enjoying your adventure. I talked a little bit about narrowboats the last time you were here. Hope people maybe have looked into that. It's very, very, very interesting. Quite a lifestyle. Adam XLG is here. Zebra cakes are a hell of a drug, okay? I have no idea what that is. Laser Unfocused saying hi. Lise Weberg from Denmark. Good to see you guys. Yeah, it is evening over there in Denmark already. And here it looks like I have a question. Marilda Tuamola, Mitch, love how neat and clean you keep your house and organized. Do you clean your own house? I can answer that question. They can't get me in trouble for that. Up until about 3 months ago, I absolutely had not had any house cleaning help for years. But one of my neighbors had a girl that comes in about once a month and cleans, and I hired her. So she comes in once a month and does kind of the deep cleaning now. She'll vacuum the rugs, she'll clean the sinks and degrease the kitchen a little bit, do that kind of stuff. She usually spends about 4 hours here and does a great job. So yes, now I do have a little house cleaning help. But as far as keeping it clean and organized, that's just all me. I'm not quite OCD, not quite full-blown, but with a lifetime of chaos in every different direction that I've had, I find it very mentally healthy for me to keep things organized, to keep things in their place, to not allow clutter, to not have a sink full of dishes, to not have clothes laying around everywhere, to be organized. And I do that. I do definitely try to stay organized. And I'm wondering, my stream is evidently okay. I'm trying to see if I'm still moving. If I'm locking up any, tell me, but it appears that it's okay. Yeah, I guess it's okay. So yeah, that's the answer to that question. I am a neat guy. I could not live with a hoarder or a slob. It just wouldn't work. I can't live with anybody anymore. Chelsea's here. Chelsea Oates, good morning. How you doing? Good to see you. And Here's one I haven't seen before. Tapadine or tapid line. Taped line. Interesting. Let me know if I can take the rest of the day off. Well, not yet. Not yet. After we're done here. Patience. Tim Matheny, how you doing? From Texas, good to see you. And Danica Milabulik. Hello, everyone. How you doing, Danica? Good to see you. My buddy Drone Shots is here. Hey, Jody. Good to see you, man. I think I said hi to Nick Sheeson. David Ken. First time watching live stream. Welcome. I'll drink to that. David. Thank you. Cool. Lewis L., how you doing? Spanky is here, golf addict. Hi, Spanky, good to see you. Glad you made it this afternoon. Bama J, how you doing, my friend? Good to see you. Aber Bear is here. Okay. P.O. Hendrickson. Henriksen. How you doing? Is that P.O.? Yes, P.O. Good to see you. Good to see you. Marion Wong. Hi, Marion. From Deutschland. Much love from Koblenz. Liebe Grüße aus Koblenz, Deutschland. Danke. Dankeschön. That's about the extent of my German right there, folks. I can order Wiener Schnitzel. When I was stationed there in the Army, I could speak what we used to call Gasthausdeutsch, this restaurant German. So I could get by, but I couldn't enter into any kind of like political conversation with the German fella in German. Fortunately, most of them spoke pretty good English over there. Still going down the chat. Grandma Prepper's here. How you doing? From South Carolina. Good to see you. And who else? Who else we got here? Ernie Earnhardt. Hey, Ernie. Good to see you. I caught a live stream. Yay! Give Mitch sound effects buttons. That's what happens. Warn you in advance. Anybody else that I haven't said hi to? David, Ken or Keen, how you doing? My good side. I don't know if that's my good side or not. I don't know if this is really my better side. But you can see whatever shirt I happen to be wearing. You guys can get to see it from this angle. And the good news is I don't have to move the microphone. Right where it's sitting here ends up being below the shot, so you don't see it in my normal front shot. But on this side shot, you get to see a little of my studio, of me sitting in the chair, without the green screen. The green screen is behind me, and yeah, it's kind of fun. It's kind of fun. Lets me swivel a little bit sometimes, and then swivel back, very professionally. What else we got? We got Tony Vergara. Thank you, my friend. Good to see you. And we have somebody called SS from Palm City, Florida. Welcome, SS. Good to see you. Steve Steckler's here also. Hi, everyone. Mitch is a great inspiration. Well, thank you. Thank you so much. I hope so. I hope so. And I saw we had a couple of super chats, and I haven't gotten to them yet on this chat, so I'm going to scroll down until I get to them. Wow, look at all the chats. And I'll see if there's anybody I haven't said hi to yet. Vicky Farmer from Arkansas. Hi, Vicky. And Narsha N. Good to see you. And here, Ground Beef Guy. There's a great name. I bought one of the frying pans Mitch recommended, but I'm curious about why he replaces pans after years. I may need to throw a bunch away. As soon as I don't replace my carbon steel, I certainly wouldn't replace any stainless steel pans or any cast iron pans. But any pan that's got any kind of a coating, whether that coating is poisonous or not, as soon as it gets discolors and gets a little scratched up, I want to replace them with a nice new one. These things are on sale, $25. It's kind of a no-brainer. I would never throw away my $100 Dubai carbon steel pan, and no need to. That my great-grandchildren hopefully someday will inherit that and appreciate the significance of it. But any of the coated pans, I think that as soon as they get scratched up, and inevitably they will, just consider it an expendable. When the pan itself doesn't cost much more than one ribeye that you might cook in it, it's not a major investment anymore. So that's why I do that. And speaking of those frying pans, let me share something with you. This is interesting. I'm going to bring it up on the screen over here, and you can see it. Here's a picture that Jonathan from Bags Packed Family, my new friend. Jonathan has been a viewer of this channel for ever since I started it. And if any of you are familiar with his channel, Bags Packed Family, Jonathan was living in Indonesia for the past number of years, and he has a kind of a travel channel on YouTube, and it's a big channel, hundreds of thousands of subscribers. And he and his family, they have adventures. And we became friends, and he came back to the States on his way to moving to Alaska. And he is going to be moving to the same town where Bill Knott lives, in Wasilla, Alaska. And they got a big trailer and a brand new truck, and they flew into Florida. They flew into Florida, and they immediately got a rental car, and they went down to Key West, and they started their road trip from Key West to Alaska. And on the way by, they got a B&B a few miles from me, and they stayed here for a couple of days in the Melbourne area. And he came over to my house, and we shared a cigar out on the back porch, and we've since actually had a video chat where we sat for a couple hours and shared a cigar. And he's a great guy, very interesting guy. Become a friend. We text back and forth, and we're about due for another little fireside cigar smoking chat here as soon as he gets to his destination in Alaska. Well, he sent me this picture where he received 2 of the Mueller 12-inch frying pans. He bought a couple of them when they were on sale. And in a video today, it was fabulous. He posted a video today. Let's see, what do I want to do here? I want to hit this button, not that button. I want to hit this button. He posted a video today of their little trip along the Alaska, Canada, the Alcan Highway, on his way into Alaska. And they were camping out. And what did I see? In fact, here's another picture. Here's a picture of them. They just entered Alaska. They finally got to Alaska. There's a picture of the family and them just getting into Alaska. And so they're cooking their dinner. On the portable gas stove in a campground outside their trailer. And what do I see but 2 brand new Mueller 12-inch frying pans, and he's cooking up dinner. And they're eating spam. They're trying to clean out some of the leftover food they had, and he was frying up spam in that thing, which is as close to carnivore as they seem to be able to get on the road. And we're going to have a little conversation about that, but it's not for here. And so I texted him. I said, "Hey, man, I see you're frying," and he just released the video, and a couple of minutes before I watched it, and I said, "Hey, man, I see you're frying in the Mueller frying pans. And he texted me back and he says, just wait. You'll be seeing an awful lot more stuff that you recognize, things he evidently bought off my Amazon link. So I think that's kind of cool. So safe travels, Jonathan, now that you're in Alaska. My friend, I don't know if you're watching this live. If you are, jump in the chat here. And if not, maybe you'll see it on the replay. But glad you made it up there finally to Alaska. You're going to be going all the way through Alaska to the northern side. And that's their, not home, but the final destination of this journey. And then they're going to be going down to Wasilla, to their house, and starting a whole new life and new adventures, focusing more on outdoor stuff in Alaska. So be interesting to see. I don't know if I envy him the amount of work he's doing at this lifestyle, but he's a younger guy, and at that age, this is what a great way. What an absolutely great way to live. So kudos to you, Jonathan, and glad I was able to mention you today. Okay. So I'm still trying to find that first super chat. Here it is. And that super chat is from Danica Milabulik. And she is from, I think, Brazil, Chile. I like the appropriate human diet, she says. Here in Chile, the doctors think I am crazy despite my good health. I see it's the same there. Danica, thank you so much for the super chat. You are absolutely right. They all think we're crazy. I ponder on that point many times, and I was thinking heavily about it this morning. I asked myself the question, have we made any headway? Have we changed anything other than for ourselves? Most of us can't even change anything for our friends and family, who become a hindrance to make it harder for us to do what we're doing. Does anybody think, after how many years of Carnivore on YouTube, how many years of Ken Berry, of Sean, Anthony Chafee, how many years of these guys does the world in general, is it starting to acknowledge even the existence of this way of eating? Are we seeing evidence of it anywhere? Unfortunately, I have to keep answering that question, not hardly. I've seen a little tiny bit of it. I've seen a few people have emailed me a few signs from steakhouses like Outback or Texas Roadhouse where the word carnivore appears. And for them, it would be a marketing thing. And if anybody's going to want to promote carnivore, it's going to be the places that sell the meat. But I don't see anything in any of the supermarkets or big box stores in the meat departments. I don't see any signage or any promotional or marketing materials talking about carnivore as a lifestyle or a way of eating. We're still portrayed as a bunch of kooks, as a bunch of wackos who, according to every expert on planet Earth, we're hurting ourselves. We're lining up for immediate heart attacks. Harvard University tells us that red meat causes diabetes. The American Heart Association tells us that red meat and saturated fat clogs our arteries, causes heart disease and heart attacks. That message hasn't changed. Even though officially, if you dig deep enough into their literature, they have actually said, a number of years ago, buried, I think it was on page 600 and something of their annual report, where nobody ever would read that far. I think it might have been Nina Teicholz, one of the few people that digs into these things and actually reads what they say, discovered that, according to the American Heart Association, saturated fat is no longer a nutrient of concern. Did you hear what I just said? Saturated fat is not a nutrient of concern. And if the American Heart Association published that 10 years ago, why is the entire world and medical community still telling us that saturated fat and red meat are killing us? They had to publish that because all of the studies and all of the real legitimate information showed that. But they won't issue a correction. You'll never see anybody from any of these organizations showing up on CNN, looking into the camera and going, here's a good chance for me to use my new camera, and going, sorry, Bob. We apologize. We apologize to the American people. For the past 40 or 50 years, we have been giving you the wrong advice. We have been telling you that the foods that we recommend that you eat to be healthy are actually what's been causing all of your misery, your diabetes, your heart disease, your dementia, your hypertension, and all the pain and suffering that you have, and has caused our doctors to be writing all of these prescriptions with all their side effects to just treat the symptoms. We were wrong about that. We were wrong, and we apologize. Turns out, the best thing you could be eating is red meat. Who knew? Who knew? Who knew? You let me know if you see that on TV, please. Let me know. I want to see the replay of it. Fat chance. No chance. No chance. That would be the most embarrassing retraction of all time. And that information, if people took it seriously, would be devastating. Devastating. They can't do that. They won't do that. They'll sneak a little correction in here and there, somewhere buried on page 600 and something. But unfortunately, that's the world we live in. So I keep looking around. And one of the things that brought that to mind to me today was watching Jonathan's video. I'm watching Jonathan and his family travel up the Alcan Highway, and they stop to eat in different places. And the places that they stopped to eat were typical of the kind of places you see on the road or in small towns. There wasn't a drop of meat to be seen on this whole journey. It was all crap in plastic bags. It was dishes with noodles and pasta. It was a bakery. It was desserts and sweet treats. It was all sugar drinks. There wasn't a friggin' thing that they ate that was at all anything other than poisonous to the human animal. And that's what the world is these days. And that's why I get a little discouraged sometimes. Feel like I'm beating a dead horse, and so many of us are, talking more and more and more about carnivore, about the appropriate human diet, talking about the way we're supposed to eat, and yet out in the world, you'd never know. You'd never know this existed. And when we try to tell people about it out in the world, when we try to tell people about it out in the world, we're nuts. We're absolutely crazy. And when is it even ever going to start turning? Or has this been going on so long? Have we just simply accepted that what they sell in all the stores, the pallet loads of crap, the breakfast cereals, the sweet treats, the Starbucks, the convenience stores, even the Best Buys and the office supply stores, very rarely can you go into any store without a soda machine selling sugar-laden drinks, sugar-laden energy drinks, sugar-laden electrolyte drinks. Sugar, sugar, sugar. Or alcohol. Because not only is eating this crap embedded in American and now world culture, but so is drinking. So is drinking alcohol. So is never ever being seen anywhere, especially if you're a woman, without that glass of wine in your hand. Just watch TV. Just watch people going about their business, especially out and about at night in the clubs, in the restaurants, hanging on to that wine glass for dear life. Are we going to change this? I've given up. I'm done, for my part anyway, with saving the world, and I've turned it over to the generation behind me, the Ken Berries, the Sean Bakers, those guys. Turned it over to them. I wish them a lot of luck with their American Diabetes Society. I will probably donate a little money to it, but as far as getting involved with it, I can't. I fought all my life's battles. I'm devoting myself to doing carnivore and chronicling my journey on it in hopes that it helps a few individuals like you, people that have a half a brain or even a whole brain, the capacity for logical, rational, and realistic thinking to know the difference between what just makes common sense and what doesn't. And that's what I like about this community. There's 150 of you watching right now. Think about the world, because I think about the world. Think about the billions of human beings out there going about their business. And think about some of the things they might be doing on a Saturday afternoon. They're out, they're jam filling the restaurants. What are they eating? They're eating all the poisonous food. They're at sporting events, and what are they eating and drinking? They're poisoning themselves. They're driving somewhere in their car and stopping on the highway and buying bags and bags and bags full of snacks and chips and cookies and pastries and cakes and pies and stuffing their face for the whole journey of that stuff. They're sitting on their cell phones. There are billions of those people out there living that life. They have never heard of carnivore. They have no idea what they're doing to their bodies. They're much too preoccupied with TikTok and all the trivial crap that they think is important in life while they poison themselves, and have no idea about carnivore. And what do we have here? 157 people. That's fewer people that may be in any given TJI Fridays restaurant, eating and drinking crap on a Saturday afternoon. So have we made a dent yet? Have I made a dent yet? A little teeny dent, but only a personal dent, and I'm proud of that little dent, because that dent might have helped some of you, and that gives me a purpose. But by any loftier goals than that, as you can tell after watching me for a year, I've come off my soapbox now and given up on any hope that I can in any way change anything in a meaningful way in this world that for decades has become what it is, and that is a complete lifestyle revolving around poisonous food in every way, in every manner, and everything that we do. And we as a human species now look to that food and its associated activities for all of our pleasure and comfort, because we're so addicted to it. And there's no instant fix for that. So we can take care of ourselves. We can take care of ourselves, and that's about the best we can do. But at any rate, I'm feeling great. I'm feeling great. I ate some ground beef for lunch. Right before the stream, I'm going to have some ribs for my next meal after the stream is over. And that's going to be my eating for today. Today is one of the days where I've taken off from eating bacon and eggs. And I do have some cod that I'm going to eat sometime tomorrow. And I'm going to dip it in egg, coat it with pork rind crumbs, fry it in bacon grease, and put some pork rinds on the side, and have my 100% carnivore fish and chips. And I have that about once a month. And I have videos about that out there. Sherry Morgan, thank you so much for the super chat. Mitch, you're epic and inspiring. Thank you. That means everything to me. You've helped me get back to what makes me feel better. It's a great community to support each other. Yes, it is. And I'm proud of that fact. And I'm proud of the fact that the attendance on these live streams is growing. And that lately the average number of views I get on my videos, instead of being 2,000 or so, is starting to creep into the 4,000 to 5,000 range. I'm happy to see that. I'm happy to see that. I'm doing great with the YouTube stuff. It's not killing me. Just not having to deal with all the comments has lightened the workload to the point where it's an absolute pleasure right now, and I have more time to make videos and think shit up, like the appropriate human diet. So thank you so much for that. I appreciate that very much. Let me, I saw another super chat had come along here. I could have sworn I did. It was from, where is it? From somebody named Ron, R-A-H-N, and it was a super sticker, I think. Where is it? Where is it? I don't see it over here where I can put it on the screen. What happened to it? Maybe they took it back. No, there it is. It is right before Sherry's. Come on, you're playing hide and seek with me now. Sorry, folks. Bear with me. Here's another one. Here's something. This is, how have these things gotten away from me? I hate it when I don't acknowledge these. At any rate, Leonard Shan, thank you so much for the pounds, man. No question or anything, but thank you. I appreciate that. Let me go down and see, make sure that I acknowledge your generosity. Here's Leonard Shand again. Thank you so much. I was testing earlier, he says, noob at this stuff. Despite its being a superb technological person in IT, this is more representative of your efforts. Thank you, Leonard. Thank you for the super chat. And here's the one I was looking for. Ron, $10. Thank you so much, my friend. Now I think I have acknowledged all the ones that I see, and I just wanted to make sure to thank everybody so much for that. And I think I got them all. Sherry Morgan, I got the last one from you. Oh no, there was another one from you. Here it is. I'm a medical ketogenic year-long course inspired by Dr. Eade and Dr. Palmer from Harvard. The information is out there. We can all do this together. Yes, we can. We can, Sherry. And it takes people that have the guts to talk about it and not risk being thought of as a fool or an idiot. It's a hard thing to do. I know how many times I've tried, and I do it trying to help people, but they just look at me like I've got a third eye planted straight in the middle of my forehead. Let me do this now. Let me see if I can actually find some questions for me. Been at this an hour so far. Did I have anything else on my list of stuff to talk about? I did. I had one more announcement. Tomorrow evening, and it's not going to be a live stream, but I'm being interviewed by a young lady named, and some of you may know who she is, Adrienne Gledhill. Adrienne Gledhill. I met her at the, anyway, Sherry, thank you so much for that. Very, very, very much appreciated. I met Adrienne, and she gave me this sticker. And her channel name is Biggest Loser Carnivore. And she's a young lady who, from what I understand, and we had a short conversation, but she asked me if she could interview me, and I said yes, and we've arranged it. We're going to record it tomorrow evening offline, and then she'll post it. I'll let you know when she posts it on her channel. She competed in that Biggest Loser TV show. She was very heavy, and I'm sure her story is a horror story of what she went through, and then, gaining it back, and then finally discovering carnivore. And I got to tell you, had I not known that was her history, seeing her and the shape she was in, I never would have ever suspected that she had that history. It's incredible. So I'm looking forward to talking to her, answering her questions and everything. And I think it'll be an interesting interview. I get interview requests from a lot of people. Sometimes I say to myself, am I the right person to be interviewed on this person's channel? Is their audience going to really garner anything from some 77-year-old guy? Especially if their audiences are primarily younger women. Yes, all this stuff I say applies to younger women, but just like us old farts, when we hear something coming from somebody we consider a child, we don't take it as seriously as we could. And a lot of young people, unfortunately, when they hear something coming out of the mouth of an old person, they have the mindset, and society has given them this mindset that, once you get to a certain age, you become stupid. You don't know anything relevant anymore. You're old, you're obsolete, you're out of date. How could you possibly know anything? That's how people think about old people. Their society, okay, go off and play golf somewhere. We're done with you. You don't know what's going on. You're not hip anymore. You're not relevant anymore. Get out of the way, old man. How many times have I heard that in my life? Get out of my way, old man. No respect. So I say to myself, should I even, accept this invitation? Because I don't do a lot of interviews, and you may have noticed that I don't interview. I don't interview anybody. I don't do interviews. It's not the purpose of my channel. There's many things I don't do on my channel that makes me very, very different from so many other YouTubers in this space of carnivore and keto. I don't sit on panels every week with 3 or 4 other guys or girls. I don't do reaction videos like Eric Westman does. I don't want to start fights. I don't want to, and Bart K does these things. I don't want to find some idiot vegan and sit there and tear him a new one to show how smart I am. I don't want to do that. What inevitably happens is these people get pissed off at you. The next thing you know, they're reacting to your videos and tearing you a new one. And then you've got World War III on your hands. And then, if it gets really ugly, you have what just happened to Dave Mack. I don't know how many of you know or saw Dave Mack's last video. You all know who Dave Mack is. He interviewed me a few weeks ago. He's got to be the sweetest guy on the planet. Probably the least offensive guy, soft-spoken, respectful. Just put out a video, and you could see in certain cuts in this video that he was visibly shaken. Visibly shaken. And what happened was, one of these vegan channels that he did a response video on, a video saying why they were wrong, filed a copyright claim against him with YouTube on 3 different videos. YouTube then notified Dave that 3 copyright claims have been filed against you by this vegan channel, whatever it was, and that their material is listed as not to be reproduced, and they evidently had a legitimate copyright on it, which means that, and of course, in YouTube, when you use somebody else's stuff, there's a policy called fair use. It's how come we can play little 5-second clips from movies and not get copyright claims by movie studios, because anything under 10 or 15 seconds generally is fair game, as long as it's used to further a point that you're trying to make, and you're not just going on there and stealing the whole movie, saying, hey, here, watch this movie, and then trying to get watch hour credit for somebody watching a movie that you pirated on your channel. That is, without a doubt, a copyright violation. And YouTube has a policy where when you get these copyright strikes, you get 3 of them and you're gone. They delete your channel. To try to appeal that, it's like trying to appeal something to the Internal Revenue Service or the Social Security Administration. Forget it. Forget it. It's impossible. Could take years. These people aren't interested. So he got these things and he claimed that it was fair use, but he made an enemy. And just like everything else in the world, these people will weaponize basically anything. Children will weaponize the Department of Children and Family Services to try to get their parents put in jail if they think they're not treating them right. Even if the parents are doing nothing wrong, all they got to do is call up and say, my father's beating me, and that guy's going to jail, and the little kids laughing his ass off. Women do it, claiming men raped them when it wasn't true, because something happened and they want to get even. People use People use these things. Now, yes, women get raped. I think it's a horrible thing, but I think it's even more horrible to falsely accuse somebody of something they didn't do just because you want revenge over something else. That, to me, is a much bigger crime and most often goes unpunished. And too many innocent people end up in hot water because somebody is being cute. For me, I stay out of these fights. I try not to antagonize these people, these vegans. Try not to make enemies. Not only do I try not to, I just don't do it. I don't, come on, pick apart somebody else's work. It's not my place. It's not my place. Maybe they're wrong. I might be wrong about a few things. It's my right to say what I believe. It's your right to validate it or figure out whether I'm telling you something useful or telling you something dangerous. But I don't have people picking apart my videos, not yet, knock on wood, and I don't want to. I don't want to do that, and I don't think Dave's going to do that again if he manages to get himself out of this. So go to his channel, watch that video, see what I'm talking about for yourself. He's got 70 or 80,000 subscribers. He's making a living at this YouTube thing. He has spent years and years and years building his channel. And because of this, he could lose it in a second and it'd be gone. I mean, when imagine if you spent a lifetime putting money in the bank and one day you went to log into your bank account and your bank didn't know who you were and says, you don't have an account here. And the fight you'd have to go to find out where your account and where your money is, especially if they had no appeal process that was able to be done. That's what it's like for some of these people who lose their social media or YouTube channel because somebody didn't like their message. It's crazy, and I feel for Dave, and I hope one indication he gave on this was that they wrote him an email and said that they considered it fair use and it was okay, and he was in a fairly bright mood, and then the very next scene in his video, he was all shaken up again. He said, I just got notified that they put one strike against me. Now I don't know if I'm going to get 2 more strikes from those other 2 copyright claims. And that was pretty much how that video ended. And I don't know what the upshot was. That was only yesterday or a day before I saw that. So check it out. Check it out. And in case you wonder why I try to be so cautious and not to step on too many toes and not to aggravate too many people, it's because I don't need enemies. I don't need enemies. I'm an old guy, figured out how to be healthy, trying to share it with as many people as want to listen. And those people that don't like what I say, and those people that don't believe what I say, I don't want to change their mind. I have no interest in them in any way. I don't care if they change or not. I don't care if they live or they die. Leave me out of it. That's my philosophy. I am the ultimate and consummate live and let live guy. And I just wish all the other humans on this planet could adopt that same attitude. I am a one law animal. I have one law that I live my entire life by and always have. One rule. We have law books and law libraries full of millions of rules. Religions have tablets and scrolls full of commandments and rules. There's only one rule that I live by, and it's named the golden rule. Do unto others as you would have others do unto you. Period. It's all it takes. It's all it takes. Treat other people the way you would like them to treat you. Give other people the respect that you would like them to give you. That's the only guidance that we need as thinking humans to have a great society. We can't do that. We've proven that to ourselves. We like the first part of the golden rule. Do unto others. We love that part. Do unto others. We love to do unto others. We're doing others all day, all the time. We're doing everything we can to these other people. We're stealing from them. We're killing them. Think about that. I don't want to get too preachy here. Let's see. Am I missed anything? Let me go in and do that question search in the chat. See how successful that is. So let's see. We have Sherry Morgan question. Mitch, I missed the beginning. What do you think about reaction videos? Oh wow. I guess now there. I hadn't seen that, man. But are we on the same wavelength here, Sherry? You and me? That was a question that would have triggered the answer the whole speech I just gave about Dave Mack. I just told you I answered your question before I even read it. I wish I had some of that spooky outer space music in my sound effects board, you know. I would play it because the Twilight Zone theme or something like that. That was spooky. What do you think about reaction videos? Do you think they are risky? I don't do reaction videos because of copyright. Thank you for sharing. Yes. Yes. And who are the people that do the reaction videos? You have, and I still don't know why he does them. And he doesn't do them in a mean way, which is probably okay. Eric Westman. He doesn't try to embarrass the people or make his audience think that he's demeaning them in any way. He addresses their points from an intellectual standpoint. And in that respect, it's more of a debate on content and points than the typical reaction video where you're out to make yourself look smart and make the person look stupid. I don't think too many of his, quote, targets can really get too offended because he's a very credentialed guy. And he's got a big position at Duke University, and he's a very well-respected doctor, and he's just seems like a very nice man. But yes, the reaction videos, I don't like them. I know that, and I admire Bart K, but I don't like the reaction videos. I just don't like it. I just think they're arrogant. But they do get views, and people do what gets them views. Joey Schwartz. Remember Joey Schwartz? How many of you remember Joey Schwartz? Joey was a kid who came along about a year ago. Almost took over the whole carnivore thing. He became the darling of everybody. He was Ken Berry's darling. He was everybody's darling because here's this kid that was trying to get into college and trying to get it so the college would make available meat for him to eat because he was a carnivore. And he made videos and talked about, and what was it? Carnivore Camaraderie was the name of his channel back then. I don't know if he's still on YouTube or not, but the last I saw him, he had Joey Schwartz. He's a California kid. He was like 18, 19 years old. And he became everybody's darling, and he grew tens of thousands of subscribers and made videos. And next thing you know, this kid was the world's foremost authority on everything. He was arguing with Ken Berry, with Bart K. two of his mentors, telling them how wrong they were about things. He got on this raw meat kick. He started making fun of everybody that cooked their meat. He started making reaction videos to Ken Berry's videos and Bart Kay's videos. These guys started World War III with this kid. The arrogance, I mean, I sat back and watched. I couldn't believe that anybody could self-destruct so fast as this kid did. And he just wouldn't back off. He kept coming on and on and on. Raw meat this, raw meat that. He's eating raw friggin' chicken, this kid. He's just in everybody's face. It got to the point where he and Bart Kay were having back and forth debates, video to video, not debating each other, but reacting to this. Joey would react to Bart Kay's video. Bart would react to Joey's video reacting to him. Joey would then react to the video of Bart reacting to the video of him reacting to Bart. It got to be absolutely absurd. And then finally, Joey changed his channel name and backed off. And I don't think anybody's thought of or talked about him before. But he was, without a doubt, the king, the young king of conflict, of people who were going out of their way to everybody just hate them and want to get rid of them. And that's what I view these reaction videos as. Look, I don't need to tell you why some of these vegans are wrong. I'm not adding anything to the conversation. It's not anything you guys don't know. If you already didn't know that, you wouldn't be doing carnivore. If you would be listening to Anthony Chafee telling you how these plants are killing you. We know this stuff. Yeah, I know it's like watching a train wreck when you see some of these people on social media, some of these strange people that are these militant vegans. Some of them are in such bad health. Their teeth are falling out. Their skin is falling off of them. In a lot of cases, weeks after they appeared in these videos, they died. But to them, it's a religion. It's a cult. Nothing's going to change their mind. It's about animal cruelty and climate change. It's about all of these wacko causes that all these people are fighting for. And, you know, it's always the same kind of person. You never see a big guy from Texas with a cowboy hat on in a vegan protest pouring milk all over a convenience store. You can picture these people in your mind's eye. They all have the same look and manner about them. They're people that just protest everything. They have everything in the world. They are useful idiots for everybody else's cause. And you can always count on them to fight for your ridiculous cause, whether you pay them or not. They'll march with signs. They'll sit down in the middle of highways. They'll destroy people's businesses, destroy their products. They'll do anything because they think they're fighting to save the world for the greater good. And they're useful idiots. Recognize these people for who they are. Don't pay them any mind. And for God's sakes, why point them out to us by making a video where you are reacting to them? And those of you who make these kind of videos out there know exactly who you are. And it's not my place to tell you how to run your channel or what to do. But you won't see me doing it, and those are the reasons why. So anyway, there was a proactive answer to Sherry's question. How about that? How about the odds of that? And now the next question. This is a question for everyone from Golf Addict. Your favorite sports and sports team? Leave me out of that one, Spanky, because I don't care for sports and I have no favorite teams. But I hope the rest of you have that discussion in the chat. Mitch, you still plan to reintroduce fruit into your day? I never planned to do it. This is from Shedley. I said I was researching whether I might do it. Not yet. I haven't decided whether I want to do that yet. I'm still, not that I think it would hurt me. Don't get me wrong. I think that our ancestors, they ate carbs. They weren't the carbs that we eat today. They weren't the fruit that we eat today. But they were still carbohydrates. They still got root vegetables. They still had fruits. And it was survival food, and they got it in season. And we're equipped to handle it. It's the addiction that scares the shit out of me. It took me 2 years to get rid of it. I'm approaching that add a little fruit thing like an alcoholic might be thinking. Damn, I had a drinking problem all my life. It cost me my family. It cost me my money. It cost me my job. It cost me everything. I spent 30 years in jail, blah, 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 blah. I've been clean and sober for 2 years, and now I'm thinking about adding in a half a drink a day? What am I? Crazy? Don't I know myself well enough to know that that would not be a good thing because of my addiction? And it's that mindset. It's that mindset that's keeping me from eating one blueberry. So I can still report to you that after 2 full years and 3 months, and 3 weeks rather, 2 full years and 3 weeks of being carnivore, I still have not eaten a gram of carbs other than what comes in the meats and eggs that we normally eat. And I haven't made any plans to do so out of abject fear of not being able to control an addiction that I finally, after all these years, put to bed. And is it really worth it? If I need that small amount of sugar for some physiological reason to maybe flex a little, that would be one thing. I don't know if that's true or not. I have to do a few glucose and insulin, fasting insulin tests to see. And I'll probably do them. I got a physical coming up at the end of the year. I'll do all the blood work, and I'm going to ask her to order a few other blood tests. Hopefully they will at the VA. But nothing immediate, my friend Shedley, nothing immediate. So I'm still standing firm, putting myself out there as an example that you can be carb addicted and weak and still manage to find the resolve to stick to this carnivore, because when you stick to it, it's automatic. All of that shit just goes away and stops hounding you, and you stop thinking about it. But I'm just afraid that even thinking about maybe doing it starts my mouth watering a little bit. We don't want that. We don't want that. So next question, what do we have here? We have I get myself in these loops where I keep going round and round, so let's go. I don't see any more QQQs. I know there's got to be some more in there. Tom Vergara, put QQQ before your question. Sherry, Kathy, she's asking Sherry where she lives. Steve Studley says, don't get him going. Tony Vergara. I don't know what you want to do. Don't get me going on what, but you know what it's like to get me going. Tony Vergara. He put 3 question marks. Yeah, that doesn't work. It's got to be QQQs, because I'm searching for the Qs, not the question. Not sure if it was said, but Mitch, what is your favorite carnivore appropriate air fryer? Right now, my favorite one is the Ninja 651, the 7-in-1, followed up very closely by the Z-Star, which is cheaper, but as long as they keep having that, as long as that 651 is still on sale, it's the deal. And right now, the Ninja 651, link on my website in the Stuff I Use page. There, I knew I'd get the shameless plug in here. But this is still $179. Regular price, $369, 51% off. They keep this air fryer. They've kept this at that price for quite a while. It's been back up a little bit, and then it went back down again. But that's still my favorite one because it has the grill plate with its own heating element that gets real hot enough to really sear off a steak. And when you're cooking a steak from frozen, it just works. It works well. As far as anything else, the chicken wings, the Z-Star makes them just as good as the Ninja. As far as anything else that I might make in an air fryer, the Z-Star works. But the Z-Star, lately, when it's in stock, is only maybe 30 or 40 bucks less than that Ninja model. And at 30 or 40 bucks less, the Ninja, I think, is worth the money. It's got the built-in thermometer. It's got the built-in grill plate with its own heating element. It's easier to clean. They've really, really streamlined the upper inside of the lid, so it's much easier to clean. And that's important. That's important. So yeah. Is that what you said? Don't get me started on? Funny. And any more questions here? Let's see. Sherry Morgan. The problem with you. And she puts not for real. The problem with you, she puts smile. That's funny. Puts some laughing faces with tears coming out of their eyes because evidently you all have been watching me for a while, know exactly how I react to just that kind of a opening line. You know, Mitch, the trouble with you is, Mitch, what you need to learn is, what you don't understand, Mitch, is, and then after that follows the, Mitch, where'd you go? Because Mitch disappears when he hears any of those statements. Poof, like magic. Poof, you're talking to thin air after that. So that's funny. I like that. The problem with you, no, for real. Why would you think that anyone wouldn't appreciate your words and wisdom on any channel? Please accept as many invitation requests. Well, thank you for that. Thank you. And I haven't turned them down yet. I was talking about the fact that I wondered if their younger female audience might not have just some societal biases against some bald-headed old guy trying to tell them what to do, and I wouldn't want to do that. But no, the things I'm saying are just as appropriate for a 2-year-old child as they are for an 80-year-old man or woman. And I did accept Adrian's request, and I'm going to have that interview tomorrow. And today, I just accepted an invitation from Nia. For those of you who know her channel, Nia's Way. I haven't set the date yet, but I told her that in a couple of weeks, I would be happy to have her interview me. And I get a lot of these requests. I do accept them, but I don't want to do too many of these things. So sometime I say, can we do it in a month or two? Because I don't want to be one of these guys that just is popping up everywhere. I'm just doing my own thing. So next month in September, I will probably be on Nia's channel, And she's got a pretty good following. I'm sure it's still mostly younger women. And that's okay. I certainly have nothing against younger women who try to be in shape. That's for sure. Don't get me wrong. Anyway, Sherry, thank you. Thank you for the encouragement. And what else have we got here? There's the question about fruit. So I'm still going around with these same QQQs. Papa Carnivore, we are 43 minutes away, still in the air with internet, so doing what I enjoy. Homestead How? Curry! How you doing, my friend? See, Curry's in the chat. Good for you. 43 minutes away. Are you on your way up to visit Bill? Is that where you're going? Let me see if I can see where he's doing. Papa Carnivore, Emma, and Curry say hi. Yeah, I know, Peter. You were up there at one of his meetups and got to meet Curry. Chris Hope is here, my buddy Chris Hope. Hey, Chris, good to see you. Good to see you, my friend. So there you go, man. Talk about Homestead How. Terry says Dave is amazing, a life changer. Yes, he is. And I got a compliment on my interview with Dave Mack, and God, I hope he doesn't, this isn't a disaster for him and everything just settles down okay. And I think he might have learned something, and hopefully he'll stop poking the sleeping bears out there. It's not worth it. When we talk about vegans and we talk about the things they're doing wrong, we're not telling most people anything they haven't heard before and already don't know. And just for the purpose of entertainment, I don't think it's worth the risk of antagonizing somebody who's going to try to use the system to destroy your life. Much in the way that Ansel Keys went after John Yudkin. I mean, this is not new tactics. You get some mean person with a little power, you get on their bad side, they're going to destroy your life. Ansel Keys, you all know the story. If you don't, he was the fat kills you and sugar is good for you guy. John Yudkin in England was the sugar is killing you and fat is okay. And Ansel Keys, with his connections and power that he had amassed, destroyed John Yudkin's life and career, discrediting him publicly in every other which way. And now we have what we have today. Recommendations to eat food that's killing us slowly and avoid food that can make us healthy because of propaganda, and there's not enough profit in it. So I'm looking for, I guess somebody tell me if Curry is on his way up to Alaska. Question, Aunt B, Curry and Emma are going to be by Bill Knotts for a 1-year carnivore visit and filming. Oh, okay, great, B. Thanks so much. Thanks so much. Amber Dawn thinks I'm the best. Thank you. Thank you so much. I know I'm among friends when I come into these live streams. It's one of my happy places. It really is. It's one of my happy places. I'm very comfortable here. Tony says, thanks for answering my air fryer question. Love your channel. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And thank you, B, for clarifying that. No, that's great, B. You can use that to attract my attention, to tell me something that I'm looking for the answer for. No problem. No problem. So I'm just going to kind of look at the chat. Mitch, what you need to learn is you're a great man. And said, "Ha, poor Amir, thank you so much. You guys are great. You guys are great." I'm actually having a meetup with one of my viewers and his wife and his father, and he even said that he's reaching out to Kiltsy to join us on Tuesday at the Brazilian steakhouse that's in a mall right near my house here. And he fellow's driving over from Tampa to meet me. Looking forward to it. He evidently knows Robert Kiltz. I don't know if Kiltz is going to come or not, but he told me he reached out to him. And we've been trying to put this together for a while. And I said, sure, let's have lunch. So we're going to go. I'm going to take my cameras. We're going to film it. And you'll see if you're not familiar with a Brazilian steakhouse is, it's a meat orgy. It's like nothing you've ever seen in your life before. And if you stay away from the salad bar, you can be the carnivore from heaven in there. I'm telling you what. And I'm looking forward to having a great time. And I'll probably talk about it on my live stream Tuesday night. I don't know if I'll have any. I might have some pictures from it, but I'll be making a video about that little adventure and probably releasing it the day after on Wednesday. So look forward to that. That I think is going to be a lot of fun. I'm down at the bottom of the chat, so I'm trying to keep up with like the latest stuff right now. My new doctor recommended statins, says Yvonne C. I added veggies. It didn't work. I'm back on carnivore. I can't advise you to take them or not take them. I can tell you my doctor's been recommending statins for me for the last 50 years, and I refuse to take them. My research has shown me the truth about those things. And yet, in a video I just did talking about cholesterol, I was very readily admitting that if you're not metabolically healthy, according to David Diamond in that video I referenced in the description, talking about lean mass hyperresponders, that in some cases, in some legitimate laboratory studies, people who are not metabolically healthy, who are insulin resistant, have high BMIs, very low LDL, have benefited some from a statin. So to blanket say to anybody, you shouldn't take statins, is not a safe thing to do. There have to be qualifiers, and those qualifiers are individual and different for everybody. But the point that David Diamond was making was that the main difference is the metabolic health, because that one factor pretty well seems to determine whether the LDL particles that you have are either healthy, big, fluffy, buoyant ones, or glycated and oxidized, small, damaged LDL particles, which are the ones that you don't want. And it's the metabolic illness, the excess of sugar, the excess of free radicals, free oxygen species, so much of which comes from seed oils, that these people who are living their lives eating the junk food that's all sugar and seed oils with low HDL and screaming high LDL probably should be on a statin until they get their metabolism under control. So it's not a blanket statement. I don't think so in any way. And I think we have to be cautious about the advice that we give in that department. But it's something we need to keep studying. We need to keep looking at. And thank God that there's Dave Feldman and Nick Norwitz and David Diamond and these people that are actually actively conducting non-biased studies and research to further ferret out the truth of how our lipid metabolism actually works and why these numbers go where they go in otherwise extremely healthy people, and why they can't be used as a one-size-fits-all, oh, your LDL is high, put this armband on and go into that internment camp, which is the attitude that we with high cholesterol get from the entire medical community. Sherry Morgan, another question here, says, sorry for all the questions. Don't be. I have an ulcer and prescribed Protonics. What are your thoughts on these types of medications? Not medical advice, just in general. I'm not familiar with them. Sorry. Can't help you on that one, Sherry. That's nothing I've ever dealt with. And since I've never gone to medical school, there are areas of medicine that I'm completely unfamiliar with, and the treatment of ulcers is one of those. So I would be happy to answer it, because I can give you an opinion on something without it being personal advice. But and CB Carmack is talking to. He says if you're not metabolically healthy, most likely you have damaged LDL. Yes, and there's tests for that. There is a way to find it. An MR. They actually separate the different LDL particles by size and weight, and they categorize them into different types, different categories, type 1, type 2, depending on where and you can see it on the chart. You can see where the spikes go up and down, and nobody does those tests. Nobody orders them. A lot of insurance companies won't pay for them. They consider them to be just frivolous, when they are really telling you whether this high LDL you have is good for you or bad for you. You'd think they'd want to know that. That's how far behind they are in this science. And if you watch the work of Ben Bickman, Paul Mason, and these guys, you can learn all about that stuff. And you can insist your doctor order those tests, that he orders them for you. Let's see. Bluebird likes the cod. Oh, great. I wish I could help you, Sherry, with that question. I'm looking for any further questions. It's getting kind of late here. It's 10 minutes to 5. I've got some, not baby back ribs, but regular pork spare ribs that I made that are just starting to call my name. Okay. Sherry's telling me Protonics are acid blockers like Nexium. I couldn't give you an opinion on that. I'm not at all knowledgeable about ulcers or the treatment of ulcers in any way. So I'm sorry, but thanks for telling me what they are. I imagine that if you've got an ulcer, that the stomach acid might be a big problem. Ellen chimed in. Seems like they've ruled out high acid as the cause of ulcers. It's interesting. Reducing your acid level will make it harder to digest your meat. That's for sure. Again, it's an area I've never had any reason to research, not for myself, because I've never had an ulcer. Richard Williams is here. And Oaktown Girl says it's so nice that they named you twice. And Richard told me that it was Google that did that to him. So, interesting. Golf Addict is back. Laser unfocused. Carnivore cured my acid reflux after 3 days. I have a hiatus hernia and was basically living on antacids for the last 20 years. Wow. It's interesting. My good news of the week, Oaktown girl rescued a raggedy, neglected stray dog. Good for you. Ellen, good to see you. Good to see you. So you guys are, Ellen's a smart lady. You can listen to when she chimes in the chat, from what I know of Ellen, she's pretty authoritative on this stuff. You can listen to her. That's Scooby the dog, to those of you who don't know her name. But she's a member of the private community. We've had an opportunity to talk very much, and she's pretty knowledgeable in some of this medical stuff. We will be well and cheers to you all, says Golf Addict. I'm stuck in Central California. So you guys are talking about all that. I've had a great time. I've had a great time here. I've had a great time over here too. So let me take an opportunity to have a swig of San Pellegrino. Give you the benefit of seeing my entire shirt with the entire message on it. That's great. I like this other camera. I need more cameras. What do you think, guys? This is show business after all. So, I think at 10 minutes to 5, after almost 2 hours of this, I'm going to start to think about winding it down. Still have 141 people here. Mitch, I can't even find a North Cali carnivore. Yeah, tell me about it. Oh, CB, I thought that was a Mountain Dew. No, man, it's San Pellegrino. Very, very sophisticated. Imported Italian bubbly water. With minerals, all kinds of shit in here. That I get at Sam's Club. And it's a very fancy label. It's so fancy you can't even read the ingredients because they've got it printed on something with a pattern on it. You go blind trying to read it. I don't know what they're trying to hide. I know it's got a lot of different minerals in it. It's got sodium. There's probably some electrolytes creeping around in here because it is mineral water. I don't drink too much of it, but I like it. Careful, Mitch. They say camera adds 10 pounds. I don't think I have to worry about that. Honest to God. I weighed 136 pounds this morning. At 5'10", if the camera added 10 pounds to me, it wouldn't be a bad thing. Although I'm not underweight. I'm doing just fine. I still have slightly under 15% body fat, which fits right in. BMI down about 19.6, just under 20. Just on the bottom edge of what they consider normal weight for 5'10", but I'm a very light-framed guy, very, very thin boned, very thin wrists. Always have had. So this is the weight my body wants. And whatever it wants, it'll be. And if I think I'm getting too thin, I may have to add a few carbs back in or try to eat some more food. But I don't think I'm undernourished in any way, shape, or form. Not with the volume of food that I eat. Holy mackerel. I consume some food. That's for sure. $136, you're just right, says Golf Addict. Thank you. I mean, that's within the normal range. You know, our idea of normal weight keeps creeping up 10 pounds a year, and it has for the past 50 years. When you look at people from 60, 70, 80 years ago, this is what they weighed. When you looked at the charts and you said you're 5'10", it said you should weigh from like 126 to 143 pounds. I remember those charts and those numbers. But that's not today. Today everybody's carrying 30 pounds more than they need to around with them. So listen, everybody. I want to wrap it up here, go eat some ribs, smoke a cigar, and do like I'm advising you to do. We're going to get some traveling music in here, and There we are. Little blues to travel down the road with. I want to thank everybody for coming. Thank all of you for the super chats and the questions, and I just enjoyed the hell out of myself. You all make me feel appreciated and at home in your company, and that means a lot to me. So with that, I'll let you all say goodbye in the chat. You're welcome, Ellen. Thank you for coming. And anything else I need to close out here? Don't think so. So, with that and the blues, I'll give you all the rest of the day off and eat meat.